I'm going to preview the 5 seed Baylor at 4 seed Virginia Tech women's basketball game. And I'm saying at because it's at Virginia Tech now. It's no longer a neutral site against anybody. Unlike that first round game against Vanderbilt. I'm going to mention this up front. Virginia Tech will not have Lisbeth Kitley. It's due to torn ACL, which actually occurred in the last regular season game against Virginia. And I know the coach said right after the selection show it was lower leg / extremity day to day. But then a few days later, he said torn ACL. So, now, the overall record, it's actually the same overall record. 25-7. But here's the kicker. 14-4 in the ACC. And part of it was because of Elizabeth Kitley. But I'm not saying all of it. You can't deny when you look at the numbers for Elizabeth Kitley on why Virginia Tech's that good this year. And prior to the NCAA tournament, they lost, 3 of the last 4 games. But none of which were at home on the losses. And they are currently undefeated at home. But this is a different ball game here. Because no Lisbeth Kitley. And she makes a big difference. And she's a 3-time ACC Player of the Year. And she would be a first-round pick in the WNBA draft. She would be. So, and Virginia Tech did destroy Marshall last game, 92-49. So, I'm just going to say that up front. And I'm going to mention some players to keep an eye on for Virginia Tech. And I will put that in the description below so y'all can see it. And there's no injury update on the Baylor side of things. By the way, no injuries. I mean, that's the thing. All about it here is. So the best player now officially is Georgia A. Moore. And she is a 5'6" guard. That's a senior. Her number is number 5, by the way. 18.8 points per game. 82 for 243 on threes. So she will shoot a bunch of threes. 72 for 84 on free throws. 2.7 rebounds per game. 6.8 assists per game. 3.4 turnovers per game. That's the only flaw is the turnovers. 0.9 steals per game, 2 fouls per game. Besides, if she's really off for the game, her team usually struggles. Or sometimes struggles. And the other double-digit scorer that just became a double-digit scorer last game because of the result is Matilda Ek. E-K-H. I apologize if I butchered that. Number 11, 6-foot guard, that's a junior. 10.2 points per game. But she could shoot threes too. 74 for 185 on threes. 29 for 32 on free throws. 3.6 rebounds per game. 1 turnover per game. 1.6 fouls per game. That's Kayla King. Number 22, 6-foot guard. That's a senior. 7.1 points per game. 67 for 210 on threes. 15 for 20 on free throws. 3.1 rebounds per game. 2.4 assists per game. 1 turnover per game. 2.9 fouls per game. And his row, Mikho, M-I-C-H. E-A-U-X. I apologize if I butchered that name. Number 4, 6'2" forward. That's a junior. 4.2 points per game. 0 for 1 on threes. 16 for 25 on free throws. 3.3 rebounds per game. 1 turnover per game. 1.3 fouls per game. Carly Winslow. Number 1, 6-foot guard. That's a freshman. 4.2 points per game. 14 for 47 on threes. So she can shoot threes a little bit too. I know in terms of percentage it doesn't look good. Below 30%, but still. 35 for 46 on free throws, 2.4 rebounds per game, 1.3 turns per game, 1.7 fouls per game. And it's Claire Strack, who started last game at center for Virginia Tech, number 13. 6'5" center, that's a freshman. 4.1 points per game, 2 for 3 on threes, 17 for 31 on free throws, 3.9 rebounds per game, 1.1 turns per game, 1.2 blocks per game, 1.4 fouls per game. And it's Olivia Summiel, Summiel. Apologize if I butchered that. Number 20, 6'2" guard. That's a senior. 3.8 points per game, 19 for 55 on threes. So she can shoot threes as well. 16 for 19 on free throws, 10.1 rebounds per game, 1.2 turnovers per game, 0.6 blocks per game, 2.2 fouls per game. Karis Baker, number 10, 6'2" forward. That's a freshman, 3.5 points per game. 29 for 74 on three-pointers, 11 for 13 on free throws, 0.8 fouls per game. And I'm not sure this last player is going to even play. It's Samiha, Samyha, I apologize if I butchered that. Suffren, Suffren. Number 12, 5'8" guard. That's a freshman. 1.5 points per game. 0 for 1 on threes. 13 for 20 on free throws. 0.8 turns per game. 1.3 fouls per game. And this Virginia Tech team last year, by the way, made it all the way to the Final Four. It just goes to show when they were healthy with Elizabeth Kelly, they are that good. So, it's obvious across the board. You got to make adjustments on the fly, both offensively and defensively. And you got to come out with energy. You got to out-hustle Virginia Tech. You cannot let that home crowd intimidate you now. I'm just saying that. And try to take them away in this game. Try to. I mean, that's all I got to say. And you don't know about the officiating, how it's going to be. So you got to adjust to it. You got to play through the contact. You got to play through it and be the more mentally tougher team. And not just, you got to be ball tough as well. I mean, that's the thing. So, yeah. That's another thing right there. You want to limit your foul trouble and get them in foul trouble, especially their better players. And even Claire Strack. And I get she has not done that much this year in terms of stats. But when you look what she did in the box score yesterday against Marshall, she impressed. I mean, it's the truth. Now, defensively, against Georgia Amoore, I know she's going to get her shots up, but make her ineffective. Make her turn, and of course, you want to force turnovers. I mean, in all this, you got to limit the points in the paint too. I know they're a 3-point shooting team mostly, but I'm just saying, in the losses for Baylor, it's points in the paint difference and rebounding difference. You got to rebound the ball, which that brings up to that point. You got to rebound the ball, like I said. Box out. And all this. So, and Claire Strack last game, she had 17 points on 7 for 7 shooting, 1 for 1 on threes, 2 for 4 on free throws, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 4 blocks, 3 turnovers. And I get Marshall was a team, they're not the tallest, but I'm just saying. And all this, and they're a lower level competition, and we're a higher level. We're a power five. I mean, that's the difference. In all this, you gotta chase those shooters off the 3-point line and make them shoot long twos instead, and make them uncomfortable across the board, both offensively and defense. And you especially want to get them uncomfortable on offense, because I know Eck, prior to last game, she struggled a bit, but still, you got to get on her, on Matilda. And I'm not saying make them drive the ball to the basket and get some points in the paint. You want to limit that too. Don't get me wrong. You got to limit that, but I'm just saying long 2-point shots instead. Kind of like that game plan against Utah earlier in the year when they had Peely in the middle. And I know that's a totally different opponent than this, but because of a little bit more height. But I mean, I'm just telling the truth in all this. And like draw some charges would be good, and you gotta limit the fast break transition points. You gotta limit the points in the paint some. and the second chance points. I mean, and that comes with the rebounding. You got to get that. And points out turnovers, you want to limit that as well in this game. So now, on offense, you got to take care of the ball. And you don't want Virginia Tech, by the way, get to the free throw line and live from there. I mean, that's the thing. And all this, of course, you got to shoot the ball well. That's obvious. You got to rebound the ball because, like I said, in the losses, it's been the rebounding and the points in paint difference, and you got to get some points in the paint too. I know you want. I mean, that's the deal on this. I mean, got to take care of the ball. You got to get some points in the paint. You got to take care of the ball. Like I said, I apologize. I said that another time. Points in the paint. Rebound the ball. Take care of the ball. Get to the free throw line. I mean, you got to make your free throws count, especially in games like this, especially when it's on the road. You got to make your free throws count. And this is a beatable Virginia Tech team. They're down the best player, but they're still good. Don't get me wrong. But they're totally different. Because without Strack, they are down to 6'2". I mean, that's the biggest that's and I still know that's taller than some of our players, and but still, like at some positions, but still, it's not as big of a difference, and they don't have like multiple 6'3" players that come in, like 3 of them, like Texas does. But I'm just saying, in all this, and you don't want to have like illegal screens or across the board. You don't want like flagrant fouls or technical fouls. So you got to keep it cool. And you got to make adjustments on the fly, both offensively and defensively. And I think Virginia Tech is going to run man-to-man defense. But if they go zone, don't be shocked. I mean, you got to prepare for that as well. And I'm sure the coaching staff knows all about that. And you got to take what you did right last game and bring it to this game, and what you did wrong last game, you got to correct. While you got to exploit the weaknesses for Virginia Tech and take away the strengths. And that's just saying some of the stuff right there. And it would be helpful if Sarah Andrews goes off in this game. It really would help. And I know there's no like true number one option because they don't have a lot of players above like 15 points per game for Baylor this year. But you get the whole point. They have a lot of options to score, and we have more depth, as you could tell. And if you look at the stats, I mean that's the thing. And Asia Blackwell definitely needs to step up both offensively and defensively. And you want to get that Claire Strack for Virginia Tech uncomfortable as much as possible. She is a freshman. Make her feel nervous. I mean, and make it. Don't let her get like inside easy looks inside. I'm just telling the truth. And Jada Walker needs to do her role. And I know she struggles shooting the ball, but if she could get to the basket, that would be helpful and get some steals. I mean, she had 4 of them. But I know the turnovers need to go down. In general, the turnovers need to be better than last game, but still. And hopefully Dariana Lopez-Buggs takes care of the ball better than she did. But everything else, she did good. I mean, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. And Bella Fournier needs to step up as well. That's just another player in the starting lineup, and she led the team in points last game. 19 points, 6 for 12 shooting, 4 for 7 on threes, 3 for 3 on free throws, and 11 rebounds, so a double-double. 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 1 turnover. And I will say that Dre Edwards definitely needs to step up in this game, and hopefully she stays out of foul trouble. Unlike last game, she had 3 fouls, and it would be helpful if she could score more than just 7. But still, she needs to do her role and rebound the ball as well. I mean, and Yaya Felder needs to do her role, and hopefully she could shoot the ball better than last game and don't be in foul trouble as much. And Jennifer Van Guybeek, she definitely needs to step up, especially in relief of like Sarah Andrews or Jana Van Guydebeek. I mean, Sarah Andrews and Jada Walker, for Jana to do that. And she had like 10 points, and I know the turnovers need to go down. I know it does, as well as the fouling, but still. And if Danae Fritz needs to play in the game, she needs to do her role, and Madison Bartley may need to play in this game because to give a little bit more height. And if that's the case, she just needs to do her role like defense and rebounding. And if nothing else, like box out. And no, she could score a little bit, but still. And that's just naming all the players here. And I want to try to keep this under 20 minutes here as much as possible. And let's go out there and leave no doubt in this game, Baylor. And you got to take advantage of the fact, no Elizabeth Kitley for Virginia Tech. And let's come out there and send Virginia Tech with their only loss at home this year. Let's try to, at least. Let's go to work. We have nothing to lose. All the pressure is on them. Be the hunter, not the hunted. And all this. So, anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later. On the road to 600 subscribers. Of course, ultimate goal is 1,000 more. So, make money off this. Of course, like a video. Comment video really helps YouTube algorithm so more people can see it. Sharing the video does help as well so more people can watch. And if you're watching and not subscribed, hit subscribe button. Free the notification bell as well. And like I said, this game will be played on March 24th at 7 p.m. Central Time on ESPN. I know there's been a lot of discussion between the beginning of the video and now. So that's why I repeated the time and the date again.